Welcome to today's Explainer. We are jumping right in because today we're uncovering something that honestly blew my mind. It's a silent condition that affects almost every single one of us, and usually we don't even realize it's happening. We're going to unmask an invisible enemy that could be secretly undermining your health and draining your energy levels every single day. I'm talking about the blood sugar spike. So tell me if this sounds familiar. Do you often feel surprisingly sleepy or just totally sluggish right after eating lunch? It's a super relatable symptom, right? I mean, most of us just brush this off as a totally normal food coma. But here's the fascinating and, well, slightly terrifying truth, that post-meal sluggishness isn't just some natural reaction to a heavy lunch. It is frequently the only visible symptom of a dangerous invisible enemy wreaking absolute havoc inside your body, the blood sugar spike. Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap for today. First, we'll cover the silent health threat. Second, 3 rules for prevention. Third, we'll count down our top 5 spike-busting foods. And finally, we'll wrap up with a quick blood sugar quiz. Section 1, the silent health threat. Understanding your pancreas. You see, ignoring this invisible enemy isn't just about feeling a little tired in the afternoon. If left unchecked, chronic blood sugar spikes can lead to serious long-term damage. We're talking dramatically increasing your risk for things like diabetes, heart disease, stroke, and chronic kidney disease. So what exactly is a blood sugar spike? Simply put, it's a dangerous phenomenon where your blood glucose levels rapidly surge and then violently crash right after a meal. This happens because your body's insulin delivery is delayed. When that insulin finally does arrive, it totally overcompensates, driving your blood sugar way too low in a state known as reactive hypoglycemia. And that massive drop at the end, that is exactly what causes that overwhelming post-meal exhaustion you feel. To understand why this happens, think of your pancreas like a factory. It's a factory responsible for manufacturing and releasing insulin to handle the sugar you eat. Now, if you have bad habits like eating a diet packed with heavy carbohydrates, eating way too fast without chewing, having late dinners, or snacking right before bed, you are essentially forcing this factory to work brutal overtime. Over the years, your pancreas factory gets exhausted because it's so incredibly tired it just can't release insulin immediately when you eat. So the insulin comes out too late, totally misses the peak of the sugar rush, and causes that massive, exhausting crash. Section 2, 3 rules for prevention, your behavioral armory. Time to fight back. Rule number 1 is all about the order in which you eat your food. Think of it as the veggie first, carb last rule. By eating your vegetables and seaweed first, your protein second, and leaving those carbohydrates for the very end, you're actually creating a brilliant early warning system for your body. The veggies send a gentle signal to your pancreas that food is arriving, giving it plenty of time to wake up, prepare, and release insulin right on time when the heavy carbohydrates finally hit your system. Rule number 2 is crucial: avoiding liquid sugars. Complex carbohydrates, like the starches found in white rice, take about 4 hours to be fully broken down and absorbed by your small intestine. But liquid sugar, because it's already broken down into tiny molecules, it takes just 30 minutes. It's literally like sending the sugar down a water slide straight into your bloodstream. Your pancreas factory simply cannot react in time, leading to a massive immediate spike. And rule number 3 is light exercise. So the crucial point here is our entire bloodstream only needs about 5 grams of glucose to function at any given time. That's it, just 5 grams. When you eat a big meal, any excess glucose is forced into storage in your liver, your fat tissues, and especially your muscles. That is exactly why light daily exercise, like just doing a few squats right after a meal, taking a short walk, or even using a vibration machine is absolutely essential. It actively creates more storage space in your muscles to soak up all that extra sugar. Section 3, top 5 spike-busting foods, the nutritional arsenal. We are fully equipped with the basics, so let's get into the superfoods. Coming in at number 5, low GI carbohydrates. Now, GI stands for glycemic index, which basically measures how quickly a food raises your blood sugar in the 2 hours after you eat it. The golden rule here is visual. We want to swap out refined white foods for unrefined brown, low GI alternatives. What's really fascinating here is this concept called the second meal effect. When we talk about low GI foods, things like barley, mixed grains, and brown rice are fantastic. Research actually shows that if you eat barley mixed into your rice for breakfast, it doesn't just control your morning blood sugar. That stabilizing effect actually carries over and helps control your blood sugar all the way into lunchtime. Just swapping out one meal a day for a low GI grain makes a huge, huge difference. Secret weapon number 4 is the powerful combination of nuts and soybeans. Think of these as your perfect pre-meal shield. Eating them right before a meal acts as a literal physical barrier that triggers fullness and slows down the digestion of everything else you eat afterward. A study from Harvard Public Health actually proved that swapping out junk food for just 14 grams of nuts, which is about 14 almonds, can effectively suppress those blood sugar spikes and even aid in weight loss. But a quick warning here, nuts are calorie dense, so definitely stick to that 14 grams and make sure you chew them thoroughly to trigger that feeling of fullness. As for soybeans, just 25 grams of them will provide you with a massive 5 grams of dietary fiber. If you're short on time in the morning, a pro tip is to just mix some soybeans directly into your rice to create an instant blood sugar shield. Moving on to secret weapon number 3, soluble dietary fiber. This is the ultimate gut healing mechanism, and honestly, it's something modern diets are severely lacking. Soluble fiber actually creates this viscous, gel-like substance in your digestive tract that dramatically slows down sugar absorption. And this brilliantly illustrates how powerful food combinations can be. You can find this amazing soluble fiber in oats and in specific types of seaweed like makabu and mozuku. Even pure apple cider vinegar contains a really beneficial soluble fiber called pectin. And not only does this fiber stop those sugar spikes, but it also feeds the good bacteria in your gut, like bifidobacteria, which actively suppresses the synthesis of cholesterol and neutral fats in your liver. Imagine eating a meal of barley rice, some makabu seaweed, and a splash of pure apple cider vinegar. You are basically building the ultimate anti-spike meal right there. Secret weapon number 2 might actually surprise you. It's eggs. For years, people worried about eggs and cholesterol, but modern data shows they are an incredibly budget-friendly, high-quality protein source that actively fights metabolic disease. The research on this is staggering. Eating just 1 egg a day can reduce your risk of developing diabetes by an astonishing 42%. They're absolutely packed with essential amino acids and vitamin B2, which is vital for carbohydrate metabolism. And here is a great pro tip for you. Instead of loading your fried eggs with salt or soy sauce, try frying them with salt-free spices, like maybe some curry powder or basil. You protect your blood pressure while still getting all those incredible metabolic benefits. And finally, our number 1 secret weapon, high-quality oils. Now I know, acknowledging that suggesting oil for metabolic health and diabetes prevention sounds absolutely crazy at first. After all, fats are high in calories, right? But swapping out bad, saturated fats, like the white fat on meat or lard, for the right, high-quality fats is a complete game changer for your blood sugar. Here is exactly why they're our top weapon. Oils rich in alpha-linolenic acid, like flaxseed or agoma oil, actually stimulate the release of the GLP-1 hormone in your body. This is a powerful hormone that slows down digestion and promotes insulin release. Then you have EPA and DHA from bluefish like mackerel and sardines, fantastic for preventing artery hardening. And 100% MCT oil, which is medium-chain triglycerides, is highly effective at fighting fatty liver and is even being studied right now for its positive effects on cognitive health and Alzheimer's. Adding a high-quality oil to your meals just slows everything down perfectly.
Section 4. The Blood Sugar Quiz. Test your knowledge. Let's see what you've learned.
Okay, here is your question. Which of these foods is most likely to trigger a severe blood sugar spike? A handful of almonds, a bowl of brown rice, or a slice of processed white bread? Take a second. Think about it based on what we just discussed regarding GI levels and fiber. Got your answer? Let's move to the next point and see how this builds out. If you guessed the slice of processed white bread, you are absolutely correct. Processed white bread is a high GI refined carbohydrate with almost 0 dietary fiber. It hits your system fast, spiking your blood sugar, and completely destroys what we call the 5-to-3 golden ratio. The ideal meal balance to stabilize your blood sugar is roughly 5 parts carbohydrates, 2 parts protein, and 3 parts fat, all heavily supported by a really strong foundation of fiber. White bread lacks the fiber, the protein, and healthy fats needed to slow digestion down, which is exactly why we need to incorporate all those protective foods we just counted down. Which brings us to our final thought for you today. Now that you know the hidden mechanics behind that mid-afternoon fatigue, will you continue letting this invisible enemy exhaust your pancreas factory? Or are you ready to deploy these behavioral tricks and these 5 secret nutritional weapons at your very next meal? The choice is entirely in your hands, but now you've got the tools to make the right one. Thank you so much for learning with me today, and I'll see you next time on The Explainer.